He was dressed in a white laboratory coat, surrounded by the scientists at the heart of Iran's controversial nuclear program. In a televised visit to an atomic facility, the country's president, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, proclaimed that Iran was advancing rapidly in its nuclear know-how. Ahmadinejad said the country had built new centrifuges that can enrich uranium much faster than previous models. The firebrand leader also blasted the West for trying to bully Tehran with crippling sanctions on the country's economy. Iran maintains that it is enriching isotopes for hospital use and generating power for its 74 million people. But Western officials and reports from the UN's nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency, say Tehran could be building doomsday bombs. While Ahmadinejad was clad in laboratory apparel, Iranian officials said they were willing to revive the stalled talks with the Europeans, Americans, Russians and others over the nuclear controversy. This is how Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, responded on Thursday.
The Security Council resolutions and the resolutions of the governing board of IAEA request Iran to freeze enrichment in order to negotiate a deal which would remove any suspicions, and after that Iran would resume enjoying full rights of non-nuclear members of non-proliferation treaty. So we would certainly prefer that Iran cooperates with these requirements, but again the important thing is that whatever is being announced and done in the nuclear area is under full control of IAEA.
Tehran's announcement comes against the backdrop of mounting international tensions and the prospect of an Israeli or American attack on its nuclear facilities. Recent weeks have seen naval posturing in the Persian Gulf, the slaying of an Iranian scientist, and allegedly Iranian attacks on Israeli targets in Thailand and elsewhere. David Hartwell from the security analysis group Janes said that Ahmadinejad's news should be viewed in that light.
I think if you look at the timing of this, there is certain significance in that, I think, in terms of the pressure that Iran is under immediately from the alleged terrorist attacks committed by Iranian-backed agents in India, Georgia and Thailand over the last couple of days. So Iran may be attempting to sort of distract international attention from that. There is also the issue of resumption of talks. Iran has accompanied this announcement with sending a letter to the EU Foreign Policy Chief, Catherine Ashton, suggesting that talks resume in the near future. But I think that there is a tension between the two objectives, if you like, in terms of, on the one hand, Iran attempting to show that the international sanctions that the country is under is not having an impact on the nuclear program, but on the other, attempting to appear accommodating and, flexible towards the West. I think there is a tension between those two objectives that I think Iran is going to have difficulty convincing the West that its offer of talks is genuine.
The message Tehran wants to broadcast, according to Hartwell, is that Iran is doing fine despite sanctions and a computer virus known as Stuxnet that was reportedly deployed to derail Iran's atomic research.
Well, there is an increasing amount of economic evidence that these sanctions are having a fairly serious effect on the Iranian economy, which means that the Iranians are having to divert financial resources from other sectors of the economy to keep all aspects of the nuclear program, either the civilian or the suspected military aspects of the nuclear program, going along at a reasonable rate. I think it's all to do with the Iranians trying to create this impression that sanctions aren't working, and the incidents that you talk about in terms of Stuxnet and the assassination of the scientists are having no impact.
Analysts say that efforts to pressure Iran suffer because of a lack of support against Tehran from powerful nations such as Russia and China. But Boris Shmelyov, a professor from the Russian Foreign Minister's Academy, says that Moscow could be making a smart choice.
Russia isn't interested in the possession of nuclear weapon by Iran. Of course, Iran, which has such weapon, is some kind of threat for Russian security. But we understand that this problem cannot be solved only by use of force. Russia is for negotiations with Iran, for preparing of such negotiations. And I think it would be better if Western countries, including Russia, prepare the negotiations with Iran in this field. Put the question, what do you wish to receive from Western countries, from international society, in order we get up our plans to produce nuclear weapons? What kind of guarantees do you need? And I think on such basis, the world society and Western countries in Russia could find the solution of this problem. But Iran isn't the country which can be put into the deadlock by using the force.
Whichever view analysts take on this week's developments, it seems that the political gulf between Iran and the West is only getting wider.